Peace fam, this is Brother Harold from HawkTheHarold.com. Back with another reaction video. Remember to please like, subscribe, and also share. And once again, we're going to get right into it.
I think through this whole diversity and inclusion thing that they've become, trying to become like the Gap, everything to everybody. And I think just the definition of a brand is that you're not everything to everybody. You've got to be clear that you don't want certain customers coming in.
To be clear, you don't want certain customers coming in. I've never heard a business person speak that way. That's interesting to say the least. Wilson also criticized the people used in the company's ads, calling them unhealthy and sickly. Now, this is not the first time that Wilson has gotten some backlash for controversial comments. He resigned as CEO a decade ago, more than a decade ago, after he said, quote, "Some women's bodies don't actually work for the yoga pants."
I got a question. So, black people that still shop at Lululemon, what's your reasoning and your logic? I just seen that video of that girl that spent $600 in New York City on Lululemon clothes just to get stopped by security being accused of stealing. She recorded herself spending the money at the cash register and they still accused her of stealing. I just want to know why y'all keep going. Every 6 months, Lululemon has some type of scandal or something, and y'all continue to spend your money there. And this is no shade to her. I'm just asking in general, the people that still shop at Lululemon, why? That shit is overpriced. It's overpriced. It's not nothing.
Tell you why they keep spending their money there. It's lack of self-love and self-pride. And I'm not talking about your individual self. I'm talking about your collective self. And I mean the black people as a whole. I'm not talking about you loving yourself as an individual or what you call self-love. I mean real self-love. The kind that when something happens to one of us, the rest of us feel it. As if it happened to all of us. Talking about that kind of self-love. The kind that you see in some of these other communities. Why spend your money in these establishments that don't care anything about you? Continue doing that. And when something happens in your community, you won't see none of these CEOs or executives come into your community and support at all. They don't care anything about you. Some of them are smart enough to conceal their hatred of you, to take your money, to get your money. Some aren't. Some are more open with it. But for the most part, they all think like this, whether they say it or not. Look at your educational systems in your communities. You got poor education, housing. You don't see any of these CEOs coming into the communities unless they're gentrifying it. But they don't come in to assist and help in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So why continue giving them your dollars? Anyway, what, to wear a brand? To wear the slave master's name on your bodies? That's what it's all about. That's it. You could see and hear something like this have happened before at some of these same establishments and still go and support, still go and buy clothes, still shop there because it didn't happen to you as an individual yet. And then when it happens to you as an individual, Now you're part of the rest. Now you're part of the rest of the black community, right? Now it's we. Now it's us, because you've been affected personally. See, that's the kind of a mindset that we need to get out of. When something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. Too many of us are naive and oblivious to racism and hatred of us. Too oblivious until you experience it personally, at least consciously.
That you can't get on Shein or freaking Amazon. Like, I'm just being serious. Like, I need to know the logic, please.
Lululemon put Lillian in a headlock over $600 clothes. So y'all, the New Yorker Lillian, she went to Lululemon on a girls trip with her friends, and she spent $600. You know, $600 in Lululemon is like 3 outfits. So she grabs her stuff, she tries it on, a black queen is helping her, she checks out. As she's walking out the store, she gets stopped by the police and the Lululemon associates. Mind you, Lululemon don't even like black girls or black people in general. As she's walking out the store, one of the Lululemon associates grab her by her braids and puts her in a chokehold, asking her where's her receipt and why she's stealing. Then the cops, 3 white cops, stops her and say, we got a description of you ladies. Lululemon associates are saying y'all are stealing. Y'all need to go back. We need to go through all of your stuff. So the cops finally went through all her stuff and realized that nothing that she had was stolen. So the girl, she takes all her shit back inside of Lululemon and return it, and they was still making it seem like she didn't pay for none of her stuff when she had a receipt and she just checked out like 2 minutes before all this stuff happened.
And again, how many examples do you need to see about a brand that does not care about your business? No matter how much money you spend, you'll still get profiled for being black in their store. Oh, let me guess. It's an aesthetic, and that's why you continue to support Lululemon. Oh, okay.
But not only this establishment. I've seen videos and news footage of people having these experiences in restaurants, even walking into the restaurant and the people don't want to serve you, or the manager don't even want you there. And yet, instead of just leaving with some dignity, taking your hard-earned dollars and going somewhere else, or just withholding your money altogether, you want to try to force them to take your money and serve you. I mean, just think about that, how insane that sounds. Why would you try to force somebody to take your money that don't want to take your money? Hell, why would you want to eat somewhere when nobody wants you to eat there? They don't want to take your money. Why would you even? You gonna force them to take your money? Force them to fix your food and still eat the food? See how crazy that sounds? Black people, we need to wake up. We have the resources. We have enough educated class of people among us, amongst our people, to where we can do completely for self. Have you ever heard of Black Wall Street, Tulsa, which is where I'm at? Black Wall Street was started by one man, Ottawa Gurley. One man who came to Oklahoma, bought some land, wasn't selfish. He was thinking about the rest of his people, bought enough land, sold plots of land to other black people, and built a community, a whole town. is how we got to think, black people. It's in us. We built towns all across this country before. We have it in us to do it. We don't have to take this. We don't have to put up with none of this racial profiling, and stop wanting to spend your money in these places anyway. Take your hard-earned dollars elsewhere. Stop trying to go where you're not wanted. Learn love for self. I mean, real self-love. I mean, us as a collective. Our problem isn't the slave master's children. Our problem is us. It's our lack of unity. That's the problem. We've seen what the Latinos did when they came over here. What do? They don't come begging and complaining and crying. They built their own communities. You can hardly go anywhere in this country and not go into a community and know where you at. And you see everything is in Spanish. See? We can do great things with our unity. We're a mighty people. That's what we have to understand. We're a mighty people. We're very powerful people. Our weakness is our lack of unity and the lack of love for self. That's our problem. Our problem ain't them. Our problem ain't the slave master's children. Our problem is our refusal to come together as a collective. We're too divided. We have to come together and stop letting people divide us. Force all these black organizations to come together. And those that don't want to come together and be a part of us, we don't have nothing to do with them. We're mighty powerful people. We know that. We built this whole country up. And civilizations, thousands and thousands of years before that. Millions of years before that. Trillions of years before that. We have the resources. We have rich among us. Can you imagine the work we can do if we come together? And pour all our resources to do for self. Focus on just us. Unapologetically. We don't have to justify our reason for coming together and doing for self and withholding our dollars. Just doing it. These other communities don't justify or don't feel the need to justify why they're only doing for themselves. So we don't have to either. And then we don't have to complain about what other people are doing. About being denied, about being racially profiled. Kill the desire in you to want to shop in their establishments or want to spend their money in their establishments. Kill that. within yourself and shop black. And if there isn't any black grocery stores or stores in your community, come together and build one. Can't tell me you don't got money. You're spending $300 and $400 on a pair of shoes, a purse. You got money. We just need to work together in a collective manner, as taught by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad through his student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Stop going where you're not wanted. Right? Let's come together. Let's do for self. Spend your money amongst your own. Stop forcing yourself on other people. That's stuff insane people do. I'm not going to force myself on anybody. I'm not going to force you to take my money. Black people, let's come together. Let's unite. Look for a local study group or mosque in your community. Go out there and meet amongst your own people. So, on that, I'm going to leave you as I came with peace. Remember to please like, subscribe, and also share.